we decided to get out of the house for a little bit. Sunshine's out for a minute. It's been snowing and raining and kind of that spring on again off again weather. So we decided to get out and do a little bit in the garden. We are expanding it this year. We cleared a bunch of this area at the end of last year, and so we're actually going to be moving our garden over and down into this area as well. We'll be doing some row gardens over here, and of course we have our raised bed still over here. So just working on getting some fencing moved. We're going to expand this thing. He's working on doing some seed starts as well. Seems like every year we are behind on starting a garden, so this year we're going to be on it and get some seeds in the ground.
Well, hello.
I see you're putting our old kitchen countertop to use.
We are putting that to use. I'm just using what I have this year. I don't have many seed starting trays, so I'm just gonna make a tray to set stuff in for now. So this is the old kitchen countertop, and then these 2x4s, except for this, these 2x4s were given to us. A big stack of them were given to us from Robert's uncle. So I'm just gonna make a tray to put all my starts in. So it can be a hodgepodge of whatever I have for seed starting. Just as long as it fits in here, it'll work. I have Dixie cups that were left over from something else. I'm literally just using all of the weird little random things that I have to start the garden this year. I have just like a hodgepodge of seeds that I've had for over the years, so I'm trying to plant the oldest ones, but also it doesn't matter if they're old. Also, I'm also planting them if I don't have an older packet of that type, so yeah. Just using them up.
Well, we can actually kind of see the creek from the garden. There's a bunch of brush right here that I took out. Trimmed up a couple trees, and you can actually see the creek. I think it looks pretty good. We'll enjoy that from the garden. Well, it is a beautiful afternoon, evening. Should have a couple hours of light here after work and get a few things done out here. Did you make some wood stakes?
Yeah, because I was getting low on the other ones, so I just zipped up a bunch of wood ones to tide me over.
One with a little smaller tray today?
Yeah, the other tray I made, when I like made it and I held it and I was like, yeah, this is totally fine, like the size of it. But then like once I put the sides on it and put everything in it, it was a little bit, like I could still manage it, but it's not super manageable. So I made a smaller size this time.
Alright, so we've essentially more than doubled the space of our garden. We've gone out another 40 feet in this direction, and then about 70-75 feet down towards the creek. So we'll have a lot more room for some row gardens over on this side, and that should keep us plenty busy. We have a burn pile. We were gonna move it, but I think we're gonna burn it here in place now because we had a little bit to it the other day. We have a ton of water that comes down this hill, and we've got a lot of it diverted off into ditches, but even so, there's still a lot that runs. So we're going to do our best to kind of dig a little trench along the front of the garden and divert some of that away so that we can get into the garden a little bit earlier in the year. Well, I guess I should have probably dug to the water with my trench rather than from the water, because every time I take a chunk of dirt out, it just splashed water all over me because that water was chasing me down the trench. So got a little muddy, but we got her done. Now it'll divert most of this runoff that's coming through here kind of over and into our drainage ditch over there and away from the garden. Believe me, water in the garden is not a problem here. Alright, I got a little distracted. I was playing over across the creek there, looking at how the water's flowing down through there and seeing where we can get a brush hog down to get some of that briars and nasty stuff cleaned up. So anyhow, back over here playing with the garden. It looks like already a lot of the water spots in the garden are starting to disappear just with simply digging that little trench along the fence. So still obviously a lot of water in here, and there will be. There's a ton of water that comes down this hill, but we're going to mitigate that as much as we can so that we can get in here and get the tractor in and start playing around. We have a small 8-foot chunk down there on the end. I think that we'll leave loose so we can open it up, get the tractor in and out on that end if we want. I put a little gate down by the creek down there at the end of the fence line so we can get in and out over there. And then on the house side we'll have a deck eventually and some access points over there as well. So feels good to be working outside after being cooped up. Feels good to be working in the garden. So I've got some other stuff to do inside. I'm going to have to bail on this project again for the night. Got a little bit of electrical to finish up, so I better go grab some stuff for that. So this will be some views from the bottom side of the garden. So it'll be pretty nice to be able to see the creek a little better. We'll probably pull out this fence, this kind of ugly fence right there, and we'll line it with some rocks like we did over here. We'll get some big rocks and line up along the steeper part of the bank here. Coming together slowly but surely. Alright, I got some electrical stuff up here in our old crusty shack, so let me see if I got what I need. Then I got these two jokers following me around. So during this remodel we've had some switches in weird places and tried to make them look best we can. These we're having to stand out, so we just put a little extra trim in there to make it kind of pop out. Is it a little bit nicer cooking on a real countertop?
Yes. That's the easy answer. So far it's going badly. It might be a little overfilled.
Alright, just buttoning up a few things inside, a few things outside, and I think we're going to call that for the day. So you guys have a good night.